Did you know viruses can also change genes into medicine? There is a poor girl 17 years old because of tuberculosis. The lung has accumulated a lot of fluid, producing a multitude of bacteria. How can not die? By 2017, she started injecting 2 billion bacteria-killing viruses every day. This is the virus that kills bacteria. It only kills bacteria, moreover it kills humans. Finally, after some time after the treatment, the virus kills most of the bacteria in the girl's body. But, to some degree, DNA is also dangerous. The movie I want to talk about today is Capture from Viral Genetically Modified. This scientist always arrogantly speaks to the media. We have successfully modified the acute infectious disease virus so that it cures cancer. She even spoke in an extremely arrogant tone. We chose something designed, researched, and reprogrammed by nature. But she is unpredictable. After 3 years, the human race will become a different form. The weeds grew into dust, deserted, all paths were devoid of people. Her virus exactly cures cancer. But very quickly, it started to mutate its genes. The infected person develops symptoms of early rabies. After that, all hair falls out, next, loses memories, emotions, and reason. 90% of infected people have died. 10% left, you will know later. In New York City, only one man remains, and a dog, everyday sports cars. In the great storm of the city, before the sun goes down the mountain, he's going home, locking the door. All windows, iron doors closed. As night fell, the whole city began to resound screaming. He and his dog hid in the bath. Hold the gun, nervous, unable to sleep. Not wrong, outside are his fellow human beings, infected with the mutant virus. Has become a body without soul, without awareness. They crave blood, like to bite people, eat people. But the biggest defect is the fear of the sun. This man, as far as he knows, is the only one who has immunity to the virus. Therefore, living alone for 3 years has no changes. His life changed very simply. Because there is no fresh meat to eat, so all food in the house is condiments, canned foods. In television are all 3 years old shows. News he also reviewed many times. To think that you are still living normally. Get up early in the morning, exercise, go jogging with your dog. Go to the basement, use the mutant mouse to do the experiment. Inject your serum into their bodies. But all failed. After completing the experiment, go out to explore, find the belongings. He will put a bunch of mannequins in a record store that specializes in tape rental. Every day to rent movies, talk to them, pretend to pay the cashier. Rely on this kind of schizophrenia to speak. To get comfort, I am not alone. Hey, who is that little sister? He has a radio. He said at noon 12 o'clock every day to wait at the pier. If someone is still alive, you can go to this place to find him. They wouldn't, if they did, they would already be there. But he still goes there every noon. There was also a small desk in the dock. Like an interviewer, waiting people may forever not show up. He's standing on a golf plane. Even though the whole city was empty, he still shouted. The echo of the shout is very limitless. Suddenly the dog saw a dog. He immediately chased after the deer, but the dog chased into a very dark house. Do not, do not, do not, do not. He knows that entering is dead, but his beloved companion was already in it. It is his only hope and love, how can it be left behind? So he also had to run in. Desperately restrained his breathing, but stress made sweat flow all over his body, suddenly, unintentionally shining on the ghouls. They stood together, and their backs on him, dead, can't make them noisy. He quietly left, finally found the dog. And at this moment, a devil appeared. He tried to run to escape, but he could not run, at the last moment was about to be caught. He hit the glass door, fell down, there was a lot of light in this place. Very quickly, the devil was burned to death in the sun. He and the dog can escape. This risky time also gives him a feeling. He stands in front of this architectural building, using his blood. Make a trap, catch one very quickly. This is the ghoul, he injected her with his serum. But her heartbeat has stopped. He had to neutralize the serum to save her life. He desperately continues to live a lonely life. Walk the dog around New York City, fish at the museum. He waited if living in solitude like this would make him give up. The next day, he saw something that frightened him. As mannequin he put in the record shop, he opened the car door and went out. This mannequin finally came to his mind with fear. He was walking towards it in panic, shouting, "If you were human, you would talk." It didn't answer, he frantically opened fire, shooting mannequin down. He felt overwhelmed, continued to shoot to the sides of the building. Later, we did not carefully step on the trap. Forever, until he woke up, it was sunset. The dog is always below waiting for him. He just woke up, immediately cut off the rope to get down, but not careful to stab the leg. He got in the car. Elsewhere, the ghoul broke out. Stopped before one last streak of sunlight. When the sun was just off, they swooped over like a devil. This man's brave dog wrestled with the ghoul. He opened fire and killed the second child, but also saw that his dog was bitten to the point of being injured. Or not, the third devil, he could not resist, was about to be bitten to death by it. His dog is rushing over to save him. When all was over, his dog was badly injured. "I take you home." He quickly went home, injected his dog with serum, and hugged it. "Then embrace it." God didn't love it, the dog was infected with the virus. He seriously strangled his last companion to death. He buried the dog. He drove on the main road alone. He looked at the empty seat next to him. There was a very loyal friend there. That was the only driving force in his bad life. It's gone, he can't live either. This late night, he drove to the place where zombies were raging. His eyes wanted to kill them all. He drove the car into the ghosts. The devil also fought back. There is even a leader who leads only other children. In the end, his car was hit by a womb, and the leader approached. But at this moment, there was a stream of light outside. Frightened ghosts run away. He was sent home. The man who saved him was a woman and a baby. They are survivors infected with the virus. He has not seen the human race for so long, a little shy in communication, but in his heart the joy. Together they went out to check the zombie traps. He doesn't believe this is what the devil does. He said pretending that the devil were all brainless zombies, cannot evolve thinking. At night, they found out that the devils were following. Countless ghosts rushed towards his house. He turned on the ultraviolet light, but being committed suicide by some demons destroyed all the lights. Then he activated the bomb that had been buried before. Explode to death all evil spirits. But the house also exploded and lost the door. The head of the devil came in. He fought with it with a gun, shot down the basement. Take the woman and the baby behind the bulletproof glasses. The demons outside rushed to attack the glass. At this dangerous moment, they found out. His serum is effective on the womb. That female devil has returned the color of human blood. Above the group did not stop hitting the glass. His strength was incomparable to normal, and the glass was quickly cracked. Finally, he takes some serum. Take the woman, the child, into his fireproof place. After that, he looked back at the pictures of his wife and daughter, then take out a grenade. This is the very tragic ending, the end of the premiere. I Am Legend, this movie has a second ending. After hitting the glass several times, suddenly stopped, then painted a butterfly on the glass. The man immediately understood, because he gripped the back of the nape of the womb. Has a butterfly tattoo. As it turned out, he arrested its wife. Finally, he stopped the serum, opened the door to bring her back to the leader. It hugged her away. Just left him an unforgettable look. There are some people who like the first ending. Some people like the second ending. Man in the first ending, like a legend. He endured 3 years of loneliness, overcoming infinite fear. Finally his lifelong enemy put an end to nightmares, but he is in the second ending, continues to live. But become a villain. As it turns out, he has always considered the underworld an enemy, but they have evolved a love affair. But he always despises, constantly viewing them as enemies. Not only kills countless experimental objects, also lose people's sincere feelings, but in a different perspective. He is like the scientist who worked on the original virus. Want to do good, want to change everything, but he doesn't understand. The natural world has its own laws. Any calculation behavior that makes a natural change will all change unpredictable results. From this point of view, I Am Legend is ostensibly a zombie movie. In fact, an environmental protection film. It tells us, viruses can also be helpful. The antidote can also be poisonous, zombies can also have love. But kindness can also do bad things. The results of the two villages have the same question. I'm listening, I'm listening. This saying is the final softening of this zombie movie.